is Veronica from Sew It Seams. Today is another spotlight on quilting around the world. One of the things that I love about quilting around the world is their quilt-alongs. And today specifically, I wanted to talk about one of the quilt-alongs that I am actually hosting. I've seen in the knitting and the crochet community things called temperature blankets. And the idea is that you take your range of temperatures and you assign a color for a small segment, such as for every 5 degrees. So for 5 degrees, you would have one color, and when the temperature changes to another 5 degrees, you use that color. And the idea with, at least with the knitting and crochet, they would knit or crochet an entire row for one day of that color. And then by the end of the year, they'll have 365 or 366 days, depending on the leap year. They'll have a row for each day of the year representing the temperature of that day. So, and it makes kind of a cool blanket. But even though I enjoy knitting and I do some crochet, the thought of making a massive blanket like that brought me to tears. I don't enjoy those two crafts enough to do something that large and that long. I like to do smaller projects for the most part so that I can get them done. So I decided, let's do a temperature quilt. And I started hunting, and I did find several pictures and ideas online of different types of temperature quilts. And I mean, it's as varied as what you can think of. Basically, you want something that to represent each day of the temperature. I liked the idea of having the high and low temperature, especially living out here in the desert. I live in Central Oregon and it's the high desert. Our temperatures can vary drastically. You notice them especially in the summer where it can be 90 during the day and drop down to 50 and sometimes into the 40s at night. And that's just in one day. So the swing can be pretty drastic. I found basically a very simple block that I wanted to do, and I don't have any just single blocks, but I have my rows. I have January and part of February done on at this particular recording. So what I have done, and I will hold it up here, is I have this. This right here is one block. Well, here, let me show you this one. This one has a pin, so I can, so I know which one was January 1st, as opposed to flipping it accidentally. So this block here, what I've done is I'm just doing a half square triangle. And one side, this top part is the high of the day, and this bottom part is the low of the day. And that is my block. It ends up being 2.5 inches square, and then I'm sewing it all together. So my January is looking like this. It's a lot of blues and greens, and it goes down to purples. Those temperatures here, I believe it was 9 degrees. And so sometimes we've gotten quite a bit lower. We've gotten into the negatives, but this year that was as low as we got, and I think we're done because we're already in February. So I doubt that we're going to get low like that again. So that's my January, and here's the beginnings of February. I didn't put a pin. I'm going to have to stop and look at this. I'm sure it goes this way. I've also, one of the things that I did is on the back with my pressing of my seam, I made sure to press all the seams so that they're up toward the high temperature. Because I know me, and I know that I'll tell myself, oh yeah, that'll be easy to remember. Never is. So I know that this is the top. This is February 1st, and it goes down. So you can see that February is still in the blues and greens. But we're going to start getting warmer. In fact, I need to put on the rest of last week and this week because it's gotten quite warm. We've actually hit the 60s a couple of days. One thing that I did to make this quilt easier to work is I pre-cut the fabrics. I know I cut way more than I probably will ever need, but I'll use these squares as probably to make borders or something around them. But I pre-cut and I put them in bags. So these are the squares, and I'm going from, well, you probably can't see, but this temperature bag goes from 0 to 9 degrees. And I've got a bunch of bags here so that we have, this one goes, this is 52 to 58 degrees. So if I know the temperature, I just hunt for them in the bag. And being able to have all of these cut already makes it so much easier. So once again, I know myself. I get lazy. I love starting projects. I love them. I love starting big projects. The temperature quilt is a big project. But I know that I get lazy and I get tired of it halfway through, or not even halfway through. I don't even have to be halfway through. I'm in February and I'm already a week and a half behind. But when I have these already cut, that means I don't have to do any thinking. I've taken all the thought process out. All I have to do is find a square, bring it out, cut it in half on the diagonal, make that triangle, and sew two pieces together. And that's it. So I've made it really simple, really easy for me to do. What I don't know what to do yet is I don't know what I want to do around the rows. I know that I don't want to just sew them together. I'm going to hold that up. I know that I don't want to just sew them together. It's kind of pretty like that though. See, I don't know what I want to do. Every time I think I know, that I change my mind and I don't know. Because originally I was thinking of having them separated and maybe having a strip of gray between. So right now I'm just going to finish each month and put it in a bag. And then at the end of the year, I can lay them all out and decide what I think looks best. But on the forum, there are so many different quilts that are being made, and they are so different. That's the fun thing about this particular project, is that, and it's the nature of the Quilt-Along, we all have the same project that we're making. We're all making a temperature quilt, but they're so different. We have some people doing hexagons. They're hand sewing little paper piece hexagons together. Someone is doing a braid, so everything is diagonal. Some people are also recording whether it was sunny or rainy or cloudy. Our weather here changes so drastically sometimes within a day that I could have all three different weathers. In fact, I've had more. We've had sunny and then cloudy and then hail and then rain and then sunny and then snow. Go figure. So I didn't want to go into that, but other people are doing some really interesting things. So you should check it out on the forum at quiltingaroundtheworld.com. And in the Quilt-Alongs, you'll see a thread for Temperature Quilt 2021 or 2021. That sounded funny when I was saying 2021, because I've only ever heard it 2021. Interesting. Anyway, so check out the forum, check out the thread on Quilt-Alongs of Temperature Quilt 2021, and you can see the pictures of the different quilts that are being made. They're just gorgeous. Some of the pictures, some of the fabrics that these women have chosen. Oh, so pretty. Anyway, this is Veronica Johnson with So It Seems, Quilter at Large from Quilting Around the World. I hope to see you on the forums. And remember, keep stitching. Bye.